Hi everyone and welcome to this webinar on how to build a modern data ops team. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Priyanka, your host for this virtual event, and I work as an event marketing specialist at Hebo. So before we begin, I would like to give you a quick overview of our offerings. Hebo is a no-code data pipeline platform that connects and loads your data that is lying across multiple source systems into a data warehouse of your choice, such as Redshift, BigQuery, Snowflake, and others. Hebo provides pre-built integrations with over 100 different data sources and also supports advanced data transformation. Hebo is currently used by thousands of data enthusiasts who are working across multiple verticals and who are based in over 40 different countries. For more information, you can check our website www.hevodata.com. Okay, so let's begin the session. I am pleased to introduce you to our speaker, Sandeep Balekar. He's the Senior Leader for Data Ops at the Victorian Department of Health. Sandeep is a data science professional who drives artificial intelligence, data analytics, and automation initiatives. He is proficient in various technologies, starting from the legacy platforms to the newest AI related technologies. He is a certified SaaS professional and a Python gig with expertise in standard reporting, data query, data visualization, descriptive statistics, data mining forecasting, predictive modeling, simulation decision analysis, and optimization. Thank you, Sandeep, for joining us today. I hope you're doing good.
Thanks, Priyanka. Thanks for this opportunity, and thanks for everyone joining us today. Looking forward to talk to you. So, hello everybody. So today, as Priyanka introduced, we are going to see how we can build a modern data ops team. But what is the need of creating this data ops team? There are 12.3 billion devices today emitting data every second. Can you imagine how much massive data it could be? It's a You can just imagine it's creating so much data in this world, and we need a technology or a process to not only grasp those data but create a meaningful pipelines to collect various data sources, put it in a single kind of a database, and then create meaningful predictive analytics or simple analytics for that matter. So to create that kind of environment, we need a robust data ops team. So today we are going to see how we can build that. Surprisingly, only 88%, only around 15% big data projects make it to production. Can you imagine? Only 15% versus 88% of the data goes unanalyzed. That means out of those 12.3 billion devices we were talking about, whatever they are producing the data, only around 15% is productionized. 88% goes nowhere. So in future, if we want to change this scenario, we definitely need a robust data ops team. So what is data ops? So data ops is data plus operations. It is kind of a DevOps, but not with software development. It is for data analytics and operations working together. So data ops is to ensure that data value is delivered to the business as soon as possible, and automation and processes to improve quality and cycle time of data analytics. So when we start with integration and then deployment, and once it is deployed, then we operate and monitor and optimize. But this is in operations side. What happens in the software development or the data analytics development? We plan the project, then we create pipelines or orchestration, and then we test and fix the issues, and then we do the continuous integration CI/CD pipelines, and we deploy it in the production, and then monitoring. This cycle continues. So this is a meaningful way of using data ops. So little bit to look at what is different. What is the difference between DevOps and data ops? So as you can see, the DevOps, as I said, it is mainly used for software development. The delivery value of the DevOps team is software engineering, versus the delivery value of data ops team is data engineering, analytics, and business intelligence, and also the data science. The quality assurance of DevOps is code reviews, continuous testing, and monitoring, versus the quality assurance of a data ops team is data governance, process control. So as you can see on DevOps, you can see software development, technology operations, and quality assurance. Three teams working together create this DevOps team. Versus there are data engineers, data integrations, data ingestions, data security, data quality. All these four teams combining together creates a DevOps, a data ops team. So how to identify key functions? So I have created multiple teams, believe me, and to identify these key functions, you have to work very closely with business to see what is the value which we are trying to bring in. So most importantly, you have to understand what are the technology stack we are using. Is it a public cloud? Is it a hybrid cloud or private cloud infrastructure? What are the data warehouses? Are we using virtual machines? So all this tech stack you have to basically take into consideration. Secondly, you have to work with a platform engineering. So you have to have cloud management, VM and other compute management, database management in place. Thirdly, most importantly, the data engineering tools. So what are the ETL tools or ELT tools available? Do we have the programming skills in our team? SQL, Python, R, or any other PySpark or any other flavor for that matter. And last but not least, most importantly, what is the release management? How we are going to do this release management through a DevOps release management. So generally, people use DevOps, Azure DevOps for Azure. If you are using Microsoft technology, if it's something else, but again, it is again we are going to use the continuous delivery, continuous integrated CI/CD kind of pipelines here. So these three, I have divided key functions into these four categories. But obviously, you can create more categories as such. So while building the data ops team, all these skills, what we have discussed, data engineering, platform engineering, is uh, very robust and very challenging skills to find in the market, in today's market. And that is why creating such impressive or robust team makes, I mean, you need to work really extensively to create such teams. So when I create such teams, I generally look at willpower rather than the skill power, because some of these transferable skills can be transferred. For example, if someone is good at coding SQL, he can be trained in advanced SQL. Or if someone is good with Python coding, he can be trained in PySpark as well. And some of this, like if someone is knows how to code on Jupyter notebook, he can easily pick up Databricks notebooks. So some of these skills are really transferable. Look at the when you look at the resumes, look at skills which can be is transferred and trained in one particular shop you're working on. So what are the aspects of the team? Mostly programmers. If you can hire programmers, obviously, R, Python, SQL. And then cloud experts. You need those cloud experts who can help you build those pipelines and create this or build this compute needed for this data flow. Security is one of the most important things again. Then you need ETL experts or data engineers as such. So data engineers can help you create this pipeline, but also create automation and transformation needed for data to flow from one angle to other. And then again, you need a release expert, whether it is a DevOps release process or ITSM releases, but you need some release or production release or different environment release process in place. So as we have seen how we can build the data operations team, now let us look at how a data operations team look like in any given organization. So most importantly, you can see a data ops manager. He's the executive who basically creates this team, and he manages the sprints and he manages the agile life cycle of the project and day-to-day operations. So under executive or a data ops manager, you can have a data architect. So data architect is someone who can create the architecture of the infrastructure needed for data to flow in. So we will look at the sample architecture in this presentation in the next couple of slides. but a data architecture is someone who creates that architecture which other people in the team follows. Then we have a data engineer. Data engineer creates those data pipelines, and also do the ETL activities for us. Then we have data or BI analyst. So BI analyst could be someone who is analyzing the data. At the same time, BI analyst could be someone who is basically putting the presentation layer to our data operations. That means he is someone who is putting the Power BI report or Tableau report. It is kind of a front end to our reporting infrastructure. Then we have a cloud engineer in the team. Cloud engineer is someone who can add compute to our infrastructure. So maintaining virtual machines, maintaining the cloud infrastructure, or Azure or AWS infrastructure. The engineer is the vital person in today's DataOps teams. Then obviously DataOps teams also comprise of data quality analysts. So quality analyst is someone who not only looks at the quality of the data, but also help us clean some of those data if the dirty data is coming in. And finally, least but not least, we data operations teams also have has space for data scientists. So when we say data scientists, we are also talking about ML operations. So data operations and ML operations are currently going hand in hand. So this is the evolving field, as you know. Data operations and ML operations both are evolving field. There are multiple technologies coming in to basically help us to create a meaningful solutions and robust solutions. So data engineer is someone who creates these ML models which we can integrate as part of our data pipelines. So whenever I create these teams, I use help desk or any desk, Jira, or any other tool for that matter, uh, to create the tickets, and then we definitely prioritize tickets based on SLAs and other things. But you need some mechanism to collect information via the tickets and not over the emails or using the IMs or instant messengers. Secondly, you need a tool to do the software project sprints. So I generally use Kanban or Jira or any such tools for agile project management. So you need such tool to manage the infrastructure projects accordingly or data projects accordingly. So combination of help desk and software project is really, really important. Second important aspect of how I manage, I generally create a prod release process beforehand. As soon as I join a team, I start creating these prod release processes. If we don't have dev, test, QA, and prod environments, make sure that you create those. And try to have a pre-prod kind of environment, which is exact replica of your production environment. That helps us to deploy code in a very confident way, and if something fails in pre-prod, it is definitely going to fail in production. So you have uh, that robustness in and confidence in these automated deployments. And most importantly, I ask my team to adapt to the changes. So in data, you always get changing requirements. The stakeholders, they kind of many of times the requirements keeps on changing. So it is very important that you create this agile team which is open to adopt to these changing requests. That is why it is important to have this kind of agile team where you conduct the daily stand-ups and incorporate these changes. Fourthly, we have to manage silos. So when creating or working with the data engineering and data ops team, it is not a single skill set. We are working with various skill sets and together. Not only operations, not only data science or data analytics, we are also working with various tools available for data engineering. So that is why it is very prominent that silos can be present. So you have to definitely manage these silos. Either it could be silos in your team, it could be silos in your stakeholders team, or it could be silos in the processes. It could be silos how you conduct the project. But you have to definitely create a mechanism to understand these silos and break these silos and come together as a team. Then definitely there are variety of data formats, and as robust pipelines, you can see that various formats can come from various tools. Data formats can come from various tools. You need mechanism to clean those and normalize those various data formats into single format, and again transform the data and put it in a single data lake or database as such. Most importantly, manage the data errors. When you create the pipelines, obviously you again end up getting the data errors, so you need to have some checkpoints to identify these errors and clean those errors before processing or producing in production. And lastly but not least, obviously data pipeline management. So I generally create data pipelines and create these different on-call scenarios where and on-call scenarios where we get automated alerts if the pipeline is failed or there are outliers in the pipeline. So you need to create those kind of mechanisms, alert mechanisms as well. So these are some of the ways of how I manage DevOps data ops team in a very robust and very automated manner. But one thing which I will definitely endorse is the crisp DM process. Now this is a very basic flow. Now probably everybody in the data field is aware about it. This crisp DM process. Crisp DM stands for Cross Industry Platform for Data Mining, and obviously this is so robust that every time you test it, it is going to work for you. So most importantly, before building any data pipeline, you need to understand what is the business requirement. So understanding business is the most important thing. And then secondly, understanding the data. How does the data look like? What is the structure of the data? And then third point comes into as a data preparation, where most of your data engineers will help you to create this ETL kind of a process to prepare data for the modeling. Then obviously analytics team can come in place and create these models for you. And until this model is perfect, we can work back and forth between data and modeling. And finally, it comes as evaluation. So you have to evaluate whether whatever model you have created is perfect, or is it giving the value as expected or not. And once if it is confirmed that we are getting the expected value, then we deploy it in production. So even though it's very basic, quite simple, but it's quite robust. So everything starts from the business understanding. If business understanding is not correct, no matter what you do to the next steps, it is always going to give some adverse results which you don't want probably. So what is the considerations for the future of success? So focus on the people and tool silos. As I discussed, there are multiple silos can come into data operations teams and surroundings. So you need to manage those silos in a particular way to avoid people working in a particular tool or in a particular siloed manner. Second, test and iterate and look for patterns you can fix. So as we always talk in machine learning, you need some patterns. Similarly, when you manage or build this kind of data ops teams, you need to create some patterns which are not only understandable but manageable. Third, most important thing is you have to keep business stakeholders very close to your teams. So when we talk about agile methodology and working closely with stakeholders, invite them in your stand-ups. Invite them at least meet them once in a week at least, to understand whether whatever products you are creating, are they providing value to the stakeholders, not only upstream but also downstreams. So it is very important that you work closely with the stakeholders to understand the requirements. Many of the time, the pipelines you have created could be irrelevant with the time. So you need to constantly check and balance whether the pipelines are needed, whether the products are needed. Sometimes the products are basically obsolete. Nobody's using those products which we are providing the data to. So it is important to work closely with the stakeholders. Fourth and most important, I think, working closely with data governance is the key for success for data ops team. You need to always work closely with the data governance. When you create this data operations team, make sure that you have some point connected to the data governance. You need You do have some point connected to the metadata and data management. Fifth, test your data and avoid the garbage. As we always say in the data world, garbage in and garbage out. You have to make sure that whatever data is collected is error free. And build for performance by design. So whatever design you're creating, if it is robust, then obviously it is going to provide massive amount of performance. And last but not least, you have to create process which works and process which you can evolve for your team. So these are the things I wanted to cover today. So I hope that you got some points how to create this data operations team. There are multiple skill set we have discussed. One is data engineer, second is platform engineers, and third DevOps release manager. So the combination of these three can create a wonderful data operations team. Uh, Priyanka, and then obviously if you can click here, you can go into my website here. So yeah, thanks Priyanka. So back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Sandeep. That was, indeed a very insightful presentation. So I'm sure the audience have also, learned a lot from this session. So thank you so much for participating.
Thanks Priyanka.
Thank you. We are conducting our next webinar on the 31st of March on the topic Building Product Analytics at Petabyte Scale. We will send you the webinar details over an email, or you can check it out on our website and register there. I would like to thank all the attendees for joining us today. And I would especially like to thank Sandeep for sharing his knowledge and experience with all of us. If you are interested to know more about Hebo or want to schedule a demo with our product expert, then please visit our website www.hebodata.com. You can also sign up for our free trial. If you have any questions or feedback about this webinar, then please write to us on events@hebodata.com. See you next time.